Hi, I'm Jason Bellamy here at Next 2015, where moments ago Lynn Snyder-Mackler just finished giving the 46th McMillan Lecture. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
You covered a lot of ground in this lecture, so we're not going to cover it all here, but let's go over some of the highlights.
Sure.
Early on, you mentioned that the physician-scientist is an endangered species, and you talked about the physical therapist, clinician, scientist. First, define that for me, what that term means to you, and then why are clinician scientists so important within physical therapy?
Sure. A physical therapist, clinician scientist is someone who has obviously clinical training as a physical therapist and also formal research training in rehabilitation research. The idea of being able to have one foot in both camps is a really, really critical one to move our profession forward. It's really hard to do, it's hard to train, and it's hard to have that, have all of those things come together, and then difficult to really sustain that career in the environment that we're in right now. There's a push, stay in clinical practice or be more pure research, and for our profession it's really important that we at least talk to each other, if not be each other.
So what are some of the obstacles that prevents people from being clinician scientists?
Well, I think the physical therapists, for young physical therapists to enter formal research training after 4 years of undergraduate and 3 years or so of DPT training, the first is debt. And that's a hard obstacle. They won't incur any more tuition expenses, but the stipend's about $22,000 a year. I mean, it's just rough. So we have to come up with some solutions, like loan repayment programs. The government has those, and the NIH does. But I'd like to see the foundation do that,
right.
To try and encourage some of these young scientists young TPTs to enter formal research training. They want to practice. So I think those of us who are mentoring or have in PhD programs for PTs, we need to encourage them to become expert clinicians. So we need to make space for that clinical practice in their training and also encourage it when they're young faculty.
Beyond that, I mean, are there other bigger changes, more fundamental changes that would help drive that ability to straddle that line between clinician and researcher?
I think there's no real panacea for it. I think in the physician-scientist world, it's the same kind of thing. There's this pressure to practice. That's really why they went to med school. And that they think, oh, I want to be a practitioner. Really, this is why I want to. But they can't. They need to be able to see that they can do it. That this is really a way that they can move physical therapist practice forward.
So, one of the things you gave a lot of credit to your cronies, as you call them,
yeah.
Your support network. And one of the other concepts you talked about was, the illusion of work-life balance and things of that nature. And so let's talk about that. One of the messages was sort of, if they look at you and they think that you always had all the balls in the air, they're basically seeing the illusion.
That's right.
So what's the answer there? I mean, is it just accepting? Is that acceptance the first part of it?
Part of it, and I mean, I didn't really go all into the sociology part of it. But men don't really don't put as much pressure on themselves. Like, they don't care that they didn't bake the birthday cake. They're just as happy to go buy the birthday cake. I think we need to be a little bit more, women need to be a little bit more like that. We need to not say, despite the fact that a lot of the home responsibility falls on us, I think we need to say, okay, I'll, get a babysitter, go to the bakery, and if, my partner decides that he's going to, make hot dogs and macaroni and cheese when it's his night to feed the kids, I'm going to stay out of it and not say, make it a healthier, couldn't you make that a healthier meal? No. Just, you have to learn that some stuff is okay. Don't sweat the small stuff. But I did say at the end, make sure it's not the same ball all the time. So that piece is, it can't always be your family. It can't always be your job, right? It has to, you gotta pass around the stuff that you drop on the ground.
So let's end this the way you ended your lecture, which is talking about the significance of the title. It was not Eureka. Explain that concept to me.
So this is an Isaac Asimov quote. The thing that heralds discovery in science isn't Eureka, I found it, but that's funny. You do something and you think that your hypotheses are that things are going to go this way, and then something happens and wow, that's not what I expected, but that's pretty cool, and it really means this. Almost all of the big discoveries in science are serendipitous. You take a left turn. It's kind of cool. So.
Well, you said you would run out of breath before you run out of questions, so keep breathing, keep asking those questions. Congratulations again. For more updates like this, you can go to the next website. I'm Jason Bellamy, and I'll catch you later.